I just picked up my cupcakes. My 2 favorite shades of green cupcakes that my cousin did for me for my birthday. So I'm riding along. I just finished listening to Bishop Wooden. I'm going to go back and listen again because I missed some of it during my pickup. But I was listening to some of Brandon Johnson up there in Chicago. Apparently, I don't know if it's still the same number, 20 people have been shot in Chicago so far this weekend. 3 teenagers, including, well, not just 3 teenagers, but 3 of which were females. And I'm listening to him sound like the rest of the lack of law and order people, Janice, George, and
go past this
the rest of them,
then,
right?
The next one, take a slight left onto 17th Street Northeast.
Y'all don't listen to me, and that's fine. Some of you do. So for those of you that do, listen to me carefully. The book that I have tried to recommend to people, besides the Bible, is Color, Communism, and Common Sense by Brandon Johnson. In that book, he details, because he was a communist at the time in the 60s or 50s or 60s, and he had firsthand knowledge of what they were doing and trying to do to bring communism into the United States of America, and how they were planning it and what tactics they were going to use. One of the tactics is using children, which we're seeing a lot of, starting with the schools. I'm gonna say a lot of homes, because the same people that are transing their children are radicalizing their children. So they're attacking. I saw they ran their vehicles into some police officers. I saw a police officer, I believe in Ohio, was shot, or it could have been, I know a police officer's son was shot and killed. I don't know if I'm getting it's just too many incidents going on. But the teenagers, with the parents being trifling and other elders being trifling, we haven't set any standards, law and order, or boundaries. So these kids are just running them up. Children don't have any rights except to go to school, obey their parents, and go home. If there's something wrong with the parents in the home, then they can go to court, get emancipated, or whatever needs to happen. But talking about children having constitutional rights, their rights are, because they are under their parents, their rights for up until they are of age fall under their parents. They're under their parents' authority. So part of destruction and destroying and attacking, because you the first responders, in order to cripple a nation, you already have people working to bind the strong man. The strong man is practically bound, because the strong man is in skirts and dresses and wigs and has tits and a penis and lipstick and all that other kind of stuff. They don't even know what they are. They're on medication. They are medicated. Then you have the other strong man that has no sense of logic or purpose. So he's running around knowing that he's supposed to be a man, but doesn't know how that's supposed to look or how to do it, because all they have seen is feminine energy. So they are emotional vagabonds running around wreaking havoc. So they don't have any logic or know what they should be doing or protecting, or who they should be protecting. Then you have the last of the Mohicans, the strong men, who are trying to raise strong children and strong sons, but are getting attacked every which way but loose. Then you have the first responders, who, in a crisis, anybody that hates police, hates whatever, when you have a situation where you come to harm, or a family member, anybody that you love comes to harm, you're going to call the police, because that's the first way to get a case started. That's the first place to get you into the court system to hopefully try to get some justice. But they're not doing justice, because you have a lot of people like Brandon Johnson and people that of his ilk Westmore, Muriel Bowser. The only reason why Muriel Bowser is doing certain things because one, she knows that she has to do it because she knows what's going on in the city. She knows the stats. She was part of probably manipulating the crime stats, so she knows what's going on. But because DC is still has to answer to Congress, and we are the nation's capital, it's certain things that aren't supposed to be going on and are not going to be allowed because we are where people come to conduct their political business. So you can't have but so much shenanigans going on. But in order to overtake and do what is being done to disrupt and create chaos in the streets, you have to have unruly individuals running around in mass, protesting, hooping and hollering, getting in people's faces, shooting at people, spitting on people, attacking people, trying to shoot police officers, disrespecting adults, beating up elders, robbing elders, and doing all the foolishness that we see happening now. So when you overwhelm the first responders, what do you think is going to happen? They're our first line of defense. You all have got to start taking this stuff seriously and act and vote accordingly. It's highly likely, just like everything else that you all have allowed, it's going to have to be drastic measures. You're going to have to learn how to do some things that you probably don't even want to do, self-defense wise, because you are virtually being left on your own. And if we, since you all have created and advocated for an air of disregard and disrespect for elders and law enforcement, the children aren't listening to anybody. So they're out here doing things to people that none of us ever would have done because we were raised better. So you need to make sure that you have whatever you need in your house. You need to stock up on whatever you need to stock up on. You need to make sure that you have some type of defense tactics maybe that you can utilize. You need to make sure that you are telling your children the best way to conduct themselves around other people's children. And where to stay and who to stay away from and why to stay away from them. You need to consider homeschooling your children. You need to consider doing a whole lot of things which you probably won't consider, except for maybe 2 or 3 of you that actually have seen the fact that I have been trying to tell you for years, and you might, and some people are actually seeing now that I ain't crazy. They are actively, if you watch any news besides 1-2 channels, where they feeding you a bunch of BS and lies to make somebody look good or make you think that you're safe. You're not safe. You haven't been safe for a long time, and it's getting worse because they won't do nothing about crime. Because instead of checking the children, you want to gatekeep the culture. That's not keeping anybody safe. They over there in Baltimore now. The bulletin went out that they are carjacking with a new tactic. They are hitting people or tapping you from behind, so when you get out to check your car, things are happening. In Chicago, and it gave me pause because I'm thinking about we supposed to go out later, and in Chicago, people when they going out socializing, going out to enjoy themselves, they're being robbed, being forced to go to the ATM or give up their phones to open up their apps and transfer money. It's crazy. So I don't want to say too well. I already just said it because I'm letting you all know, but because I feel like somebody I don't want to give nobody no more ideas. They have enough ideas to do all types of nefarious deeds, but they won't go nowhere and learn how to read, do math, code, or do something beneficial. So while you off being excellent and all this magic you got, do something worthwhile. Maybe read the book so you'll understand. It really is going on. It's crazy to be sitting here watching it. And then the Bible tells us it's going to be lawlessness. Y'all lovers of yourself, prideful, arrogant, exalt yourselves above God. All of that. It's going on. So instead of making a bunch of excuses, whining and moaning about curfews, get a handle on your children so nobody else have to do it. But pay attention. Because this is serious. Because ain't no telling what in the world. They already acting a fool now. So could you imagine what the summer when it get hot is going to be like? And I need to take a serious trip to the range and need a shotgun. Maybe a double barrel. I don't know. You live alone, that's what you need to be doing. Learn how to make a Molotov cocktail or something. You might have to burn somebody trying to get into your house. I don't know. Stay safe.